one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag? Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Hey.
If you wouldn't mind making sure that your phones are put on vibrate or turned off so that we are not disturbed during the meeting, that would be appreciated. Okay, we did receive 3 different speaker request forms, and I'll do it in the order that they were received. The first one is Hillary Dumas. If you wouldn't mind coming up and stating your name for the record and your address, that would be wonderful.
Hillary Is it on? Can you hear me? Okay. Hillary Dumas, 8560 Majestic Lake Court, Montgomery.
Okay, thank you.
I'm here tonight about an agenda item that occurred on September 10th. Specifically, it was agenda item 2, acceptance of Lake Creek Village roads and underlying storm sewer. And just to refresh your memory, this topic was introduced by Mr. Palmer with the following: they got problems out there. They got problems with storm sewer, problems with road conditions. He continues to say more, elaborates, but then says they would need to be brought up to our standards. And then he defers to our city engineers. City engineers start with Catherine, did not receive testing results until the packet tonight. Chris follows with very specific accusations. The developer specifically asked us not to spend time reviewing the roads, specifically did not want us inspecting. Mike Muckleroy then follows with, we were told to not even look at the streets, not to city standards. We don't understand what's there. So, it's been almost 10 years, but lucky for everyone, I keep my emails. So, tonight I have a packet for everybody with some special highlights that hopefully you will indulge me. So this was strange to me because every construction project that is done in the city of Montgomery requires a permit. You can't build a house, you can't, even internally, everything has to be inspected. And so a project of this magnitude, this many lots, this many homes connecting to city utilities would absolutely have to be inspected. So I took 30 seconds and checked the city website. And on October 27th, 2015, the City Council minutes reflect that City Council unanimously accepted water, sanitary, drainage, and paving improvements with Lake Creek Village section. I don't know who did it first, but carried unanimously. Section 2. Let's see here, October 25th, Council unanimously approved the Section 2 improvements. Mr. McCorkdale was the City Councilor on both of those and voted to approve and accept those utilities. So all of this was available on the city website. Had city staff taken 2 seconds to look, they would have found it. If you continue through the packet that I have there, you'll see copies of emails. Ed, well, first of all, I guess it's quick to think the engineer of record on both of these projects would be Ed Shackelford. Didn't even join Jones Carter of Montgomery. So he would have been part of these discussions. So if you go through these emails, they're highlighted. But Section 1, we actually bonded and paid the city, had $600,000 of our money. Everything was subject to inspection. All the testing reports were provided to city staff and city engineers. Everything's there, and you'll see copies of all of this. You can go through that. Nothing was done without Glenn Fleming or Ed Shackelford approving it. They had regular correspondence with our contractors and received reports in a very timely manner. If you go through these emails, you'll see that we had the money with the city. You'll see the emails from Philip to Glenn and Ed. Hopefully you guys continue to stop by. Because this is the first project with the city for both Jack was the city administrator at the time, and you guys, we need to get it right. Coastal will be out there tomorrow to pull samples and test for density. if you guys will have those results Monday, if you guys need to have someone present when they come out, please let me know. Does this sound like we're hiding anything? I have more reports. All of these go to city staff. You see directly from coastal. Then you get to final inspection of section 1. You have an email from Glenn Fleming. He did the walkthrough. We get to section 2. The city approved all of the testing, all of the plans. They redlined them, sent them back to us. We actually had a pre-construction meeting with Glenn Fleming representing the city as the city engineer. So in no way were these improvements ever done without city oversight or anything that would not have been to city code. If you continue to go through the packet, you can see Glenn Fleming's attending. Here's road geotechs. Please let me know if you have any comments. Otherwise, we'll go with 7% lime as recommended. The road isn't even built yet. Go to the next one. You see, oh, here this is. So when we do this, I don't even pay our contractors until the improvements have been inspected and approved. Glenn Fleming actually has to approve my pay requests before we ever pay them. So the city was involved from every step of the process. And then Glenn goes, Mike Muckleroy's invited to the punch out. Glenn's going to provide a letter of substantial completion. Section 2 road. So there was discussion. Chris specifically said they were told not to inspect the road, not to look at the road, not to do anything. These emails directly relate to the road. There was specific discussion about a bird bath. If you want to go through, Glenn specifically says in these emails how to handle it. The last one is actually one of my favorites because it's from Chris Rosnowski, who's the current city engineer, and it includes Catherine. And it is after the one-year maintenance period has ended, and it's the final punch-out. In that email, he also includes, he gives me 3 things that need to be done, and he includes a picture. One of those 3 things is the caulking on the road. So at no time did we ever say the city couldn't be included. In fact, we went out of our way to include them. So I appreciate the fact that you guys could see that and voted to approve those improvements. And then the last point I guess I have is that I have thousands of dollars of invoices directly from Jones and Carter. Section 2 of Lake Creek Village was actually where we had an issue with billing from Jones and Carter, and it was determined getting billed for different things. So Chris's, one of the first interactions he had with us was to sit in that conference room and line by line go through every Jones and Carter invoice for the previous years with the backup so that they could identify where we had been overbilled. And at the end of that meeting, we got credits. So this whole discussion about they've never been included, they never got reports, is absolutely absurd. And the fact that you're paying, these are city paid staff, and they can't A, take the time to look up your own minutes on the website, but B, review city records, and they go out on public record to say that none of this had ever been tested or approved and they had no idea, means that you probably need to get some new city employees.
All right. Next up, Philip Lefebvre. If you would please come to the podium.
Thank you, Mayor.
State your
Thank
name
you,
and-
Council. Philip Lefebvre, 19971 FM 2854. If I may, I'm going to wear glasses.
Yes.
20 years ago, I didn't have to. I wanted to take this time, a moment, to just remind, mainly for the public as well, kind of some of the history that's gone on in the town. Some of it you guys know. But in 2003, there was a wave of people coming through Montgomery. Montgomery had become a huge bottleneck. It was taking parents an hour in the morning, an hour in each way to pick up and drop their children. Some people were spending 3 hours a day trying to get through the town. The county came to us and they said that they were aware of the problem and they wanted to create a bypass around the town. So at the time, the county hadn't budgeted the money, they didn't know where the road would go, and they didn't know when it would go, which was kind of unacceptable. At the time, the city of Montgomery didn't have the money, but they clearly accepted the problem and knew it was a problem. We didn't have the money, but we owned the land and we were able to borrow the money. So essentially, we agreed to go ahead and fix the loop. We agreed to fix other parts. Our attorney at the time said that it would be bad practice for us not to create a planned development because he said cities in general, not this one of course, but cities in general love you when they need you, but 10 years later when they don't, they'll spit all over you. So he said, get a planned development organized. So we created that planned development with the city, went line for line, and it basically didn't give us any real rights. What it did was it gave us the ability to do a certain amount of zoning. We had a 200,000 gallon a day sewer permit, so we gave that to the city. And so the city agreed to be obligated to give us sewer and water. So as we proceeded with the planned development, we basically agreed to build the structures. So we built the initial loop, we built Klepper extension, we built CB Stewart, we built Ples Morgan, and we spent millions of dollars, which we essentially donated to the city. I wrote all this up, but I don't even know where I am on it. So we honored our agreement. The city basically didn't lose any power. They had full right of inspection. We had to follow all the ordinances. The ordinances at the time, the city agreed not to change the ordinances on us, but we had to follow them. We had to follow all procedures, planning and zoning, inspections, everything we did, every road we did, everything we did went through the system. At no time did we ever disrespect the city, or at no time did we ever presume that we had any authority over the city. The city's a sovereign entity, and we've always respected that. So we've gone now over 20 years, and this has been the most probably extreme change in the city since its inception. And a lot of the success of that, and it has been successful, has been multiple city councils. Honest, they've always been above board, and we've tried to be the same. So what are the things we've done, aside from essentially saving taxpayers? I mean, to accomplish the changes that the city has accomplished would have involved huge tax increases for people. We basically subsidized that. We built the roads, we gave them to the city, we put in the utilities. The other things we've given, the city wouldn't have the fire station without us. It wouldn't have the library without us. It wouldn't have Fernland without us. I mean, we've tried to do everything we can to kind of be a part of the city. The main thing we've done, I think, that goes beyond that is when you drive around the city, you don't see a hodgepodge of strip centers and garage repair shops and sheetrock houses, because we've essentially, over the years, refused to sell our land to anything that wasn't part of an overall bigger picture and a bigger plan. And it hasn't been easy. Several times we've nearly gone bankrupt, but we've kind of worked it through, and it has been really, I feel, it's been a good partnership. And I feel that the result has been a good one for everybody. Now we come, and essentially the new group of city administrators. I mean, the city's never had good administrators, frankly. It's always been city council that's run things. But now it has this group. And this is the first time, and Hillary went over it with you, it's the first time I've seen city managers, city contractors, employees, outright lie to council, outright say things that they knew weren't true, that they basically, the testing that Larry Finke got, I mean, we got those same tests too. The original design for Lake Creek Village Section 1 could have been asphalt, but we knew at that time that asphalt cracked side 3 times. The city's done Klepper twice. All the asphalt roads crack. So we knew that essentially if subdivisions that look nice, they've got to have concrete. So we went with concrete. It was more money. As he implied, we're cutting corners. We went with a stronger mix. Instead of a 3,000 pound mix, we went with a 4,000 pound mix. So these guys basically have come and they've made these statements to the city that this is a bad project, wasn't inspected, and they had to know that these were not true. McCorkadale was on city councils. Rodnowski, Catherine met with us to go over bills. They had to know that what they were telling you was false. Mr. Palmer or whoever received the testing from the roads from Larry Finke. I don't think they were going to produce that till the last minute, and someone must have made them produce it. You can't have city people outrightly misrepresenting things to council about things. And more than just us, this went against the homeowners. The duty of people who work for the city is for the homeowners, to protect them, to make sure that they're well treated. These guys ignored that. They weren't remotely interested in having the homeowners re-participate their roads in the city. I personally think roads should stay private. I think the properties long time are more valuable. As I think you said, you get traffic through, you can stop it with a gate, you can let your children out on the streets. In the long run, I think they're making mistakes, but it's their right. These guys were basically prepared to deny them that right. And in the same breath, basically said that the product they live in, the houses they have, are inferior, basically, and unacceptable. That's not how city council people should work. They should be working for the people and trying to come out with the best, not just obscuring the facts and making things look bad. So I don't know, I mean, these guys work for you. I mean, I know we're certainly deliberating whether the only thing we can do is essentially is report engineers to the state. And we're deliberating whether we report them. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, but it seems to me maybe Mr. Palmer knows more about this than anyone else since his previous incarnation in Georgia. But to me, I point, you know, it's not me, I mean, it's a guess, but to me, that's something that should be looked into. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Speak. So Sarah Countryman, 396 Berkeley Drive. Dear Council, I wanted to take a moment to praise Stephanie Johnson, our new MEDC Special Events Coordinator. She's been knowledgeable, detail-oriented, engaged, and I've already had multiple business owners and residents 30 a.m. and she was there with us until 10 p.m. that night. We had approximately 1,000 dance goers attend, and she handled all logistics with curiosity and grace. This morning I had a meeting with her and Rebecca Huss in regard to the Christmas parade. I am blown away at her organizational skills, eagerness to learn, and she asked great questions. Mind you, she's never been a parade organizer, and I'm confident with Becky's offered help, she will nail this parade, and as we know, this parade is everything to this community. I can already tell you she's going to do an excellent job, and me personally, I'm thrilled and excited to have her on at the City of Montgomery on the team. Thank you, Sarah, and she is fantastic, so I wanted to praise. All right, first item on your agenda, public hearing. Convene into public hearing to receive comments on a special use permit application for a paramedical and fine line tattooing business located at 14375 Liberty Street. It is exactly 6:19, and we will convene into public hearing. If anybody has anything to say? Okay, it is 6:19. We will close the public hearing. Regular agenda. Item number 2, approval of the October 22nd.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of October the 22nd.
A second.
It's been moved by Carol, seconded by Casey, that we approve the October 22nd regular meeting minutes. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. It is open for discussion. All those in favor of approving the October 22nd, 2024 regular meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will accept and approve the October 22nd, 2024 regular meeting minutes. Item number 3 on your agenda. Consideration of possible action on an ordinance of the City of Montgomery, Texas, granting a special use permit to Shea Sakura for use the Reuse the property located at 14375 Liberty Street, Suite 105, Montgomery, Texas 77356, for a micropigmentation, paramedical, and fine line tattoo business, establishing certain terms, conditions, and limitations, providing for penalty, severability, and effective date.
Mayor and council, you have the information in front of you. The applicant is here. You have the draft ordinance. I'll be glad to answer any questions, or if you would like to discuss with the applicant some of the nuances of the business, I'm sure she would be glad to speak. Introduce yourself.
I was at the MEDC meeting where you spoke. No, great job, great entity. It's noble of you. Thank you. Okay.
Are we
No
able,
questions?
Oh, wait,
Oh,
yes.
I'm
are
sorry?
we able to pass it without a city secretary?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are we?
Yeah.
wouldn't we?
I don't know why we kept delaying it though.
Well, the public hearing got missed.
Oh, okay. Okay, it was a public hearing. All right.
Yeah.
I have a point of information. It says in here, city council by an affirmative 4/5 vote made by ordinance grant a special permit. What happens in the case that our council, we don't have 4/5, we have 4, and if one says no, that doesn't equal to the 4/5 vote. I'm just
Good
curious.
question.
It doesn't pass.
It won't pass.
So it has to be
But it
unanimous.
has
It has to be
everybody's.
unanimous.
Oh, it has to be unanimous.
Yes.
In order to reach the 4/5 in this case.
Right.
Because to your point, Joe,
Yeah, you know, it's semantics, but I want to get the math straight. Okay.
Okay. Council, what is your pleasure?
I make a motion to approve the ordinance granting a special use permit for the business located at 14375 Liberty Street as presented.
I second.
It's been moved by Carol, seconded by either Casey or Cheryl, I'm not sure which, for the record. Casey, moved by Casey, to accept the special use permit for the use of property located at 14375 Liberty Street, Suite 105. As presented, this motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. All those in favor of accepting and granting the special use permit for the property located at 14375 Liberty Street, Suite 105, as presented, say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. All right. Congratulations. Item number 5 on your agenda, consideration and possible action approving projects to be funded from the American Rescue Plan.
What about number 4?
We are not, sorry, I apologize. Number 4 has been taken off of the agenda. We are, we don't have the results yet, the official results.
You shouldn't table it and bring it back?
I have a recommendation on that. If we don't need to take any action on this item tonight, but it would be good for us to call for the special meeting while we're here.
Okay.
I'm thinking either Friday in the afternoon or Monday in the afternoon. We have to have it done by the 19th.
For what?
Friday afternoon is fine.
Certification.
Now, to canvass the votes, you only have to have 2 people, right? That's correct. So I don't know that I'll be one of those 2 people, but
I can be here Friday.
Sure, you want to be
I
here Friday?
talked to Montgomery Elections today, and they said their vote wouldn't be complete till next week. Sometime.
right, I think the deadline is the
The
19th.
19th, which is next Tuesday.
Yes,
Next Tuesday.
to do it.
That's her deadline to get it done?
We got it, because the state law requires us
Yeah,
to be done.
I was going to say, that's what I thought.
So
Unless we have a meeting on Monday.
I made a copy.
We're not going to have 72 hours prior.
Friday, okay.
Ah, okay.
Today's Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah, so we have to
We
do
don't
it
have-
Monday. I can be here Monday evening.
The 18th?
I think so.
Okay. Yes, that's it. Okay.
So the 18th at 6 o'clock?
So will you make a motion to,
Yeah. Let me
okay,
double
the
check.
18th at 6 o'clock, you said, Gary? Or 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock?
Whatever's comfortable for you guys.
Okay.
Is there
5 o'clock is
another
fine?
city meeting that night?
There's not.
Actually, 5 o'clock would be preferable if possible.
So I had city on here, I guess it wasn't something.
And this is going to be on the 18th?
Yes.
There's an MEDC meeting that Monday? No, we
No,
moved that.
no.
It's on Tuesday.
We moved
We
that.
have our joint workshop with KKC on Tuesday, the 19th.
The
That was
19th.
the EDC meeting.
I can't be here at 6, I can be here at 5. So I need someone to make a motion, please.
Make a motion to call a special meeting on Monday the 18th at 5 p.m. to be held at City Hall, Montgomery, Texas.
I second.
Moved by Casey, seconded by Cheryl, that we have a special meeting called for November 18th at 5 p.m. at 101 Old Plantersville Road to accept the canvassing, the election votes, canvassing votes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will call that special meeting on November 18th at 5 p.m. City Hall. Okay. Item number 5, consideration and possible action approving projects to be funded from the American Rescue Plan.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. We are bringing before you 2 projects that have been on our capital improvement plan that we have run by GrantWorks. We've actually run the project list by GrantWorks and sought input from them to find out which of these projects in our different priorities in which we are at. All of the items in the point where we could project selection and that type of thing. So then we move to priority 2. So the first 2 projects is the College Street drainage improvements and the water plant number 3 booster pump addition. So these were projects that were identified as priority 2. They do meet the criteria, and based in the stage where we are at, we have not gone out for bid, we haven't done any of those items. So we're bringing those forward tonight to ask for approval to use the ARPA funds for those 2 projects. There will be a series of things that happen. In December, you will have some more things pertaining to this, but our first step is to state what the projects would be. So,
And in December, are we going to be required for more meetings? Is that part of the process? Because we only have 1 meeting in December? Just
so it
curious.
should not require us to have more meetings.
Okay.
As long as we approve projects tonight.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, there will be a few things
Just
that
for
we have to do.
clarification.
We have some policy stuff that we have to bring forth in order to meet the federal procurement guidelines under ARPA. So we'll be bringing that forward at the December meeting, as well as a process. It's basically an MOU with ourselves for these projects, because we're not actually going to be have these projects obligated by the deadline of December 31st. So they have guidance from Treasury for that, and that's what we'll be bringing forward in December.
Okay.
So who has plans for the College Street drainage improvement? We haven't seen any plans.
I will defer.
This is the beginning of the ARPA process, so you have to designate the funds for these projects. This will allow the plans to be created for the College Street drainage improvements and to refine those plans for the booster pump addition that came from what had already been previously completed. So correct, the construction plans for College Street have not been created yet. That's the next step in this process. The first step is assigning your ARPA funds to the projects so that they can be used for it.
So when the plans are done, if there's more money needed, it just has to come from somewhere else.
Correct.
Because all this says is drainage ditch. Channel the flow of flood water with newly constructed drainage ditches. Newly constructed. I'm confused. But all this is aligning two projects to spend this money on. Then we'll just wait and see what comes out.
Right, so the language in here, the city will be able to effectively channel the flow of floodwater with newly constructed drainage ditches. Part of that project is reconstructing part of some of the ditches along College Street. So this is, what this paragraph is saying is the benefit that this project will have. It's identifying what that benefit will be as part of the ARPA funds to show that it's not just any project, there's a real significant benefit, and that's to reduce the flooding on College Street with the ditches that will be constructed as part of the project.
So they're only, what do we need to give them in order to qualify for the money? Just these two estimates and tell them this is what we're gonna, what are they looking for?
So we already have the money.
Okay.
And
right.
now you have to meet this set of criteria in order to be able to spend that money, okay? So in our list of the CIP projects, which was in your packet and is what we've discussed, this was in the July workshop, we gave GrantWorks the list and said, okay, before we go out and try to conjure up more things that we could use this money for, here is our list of projects that have been identified as needs. Is there anything on this list that we could use ARPA funds for and meet all of that criteria so that we don't end up having to give back our ARPA funds? In looking at our list, again, the items in priority 1 are already underway. We can't use the funds on those projects because there are certain criteria that you have to meet for going out for bid, engineering services. There's a whole slew of things that have to happen with that. So then we move to the next priority list. That next priority list, those 2 items right in there, priority 2, met the criteria. We have not gone out for bid. We have not done design engineering. We haven't done any of those things. So by committing for these 2 projects, we then can use the funds. We will meet all of the criteria, the posting, the bids, everything that we need to do and have in place so that we can use the ARPA funds for this, be able to check off all of our boxes in reporting with Treasury so that we don't have to give back the funds and reduce our, not spending them correctly. So that's where we're at. If we don't have this committed and in place by December 31st, we will be beginning the process to send the money back to Treasury. We have no other option.
So the first deadline is we've got to get these obligated by this December. The
Right,
second
and we aren't
deadline,
able to do the traditional obligation because of the stage we are at. That's why we're going to bring forth this MOU with ourselves about committing these projects.
and then how long do they give us when we turn dirt and start these projects? When do they have to be completed by? I know they're not going to give us an
December
evergreen.
30th, 2026.
Okay.
You have 2 years.
So 2 years to complete the project. And if they come in under, we give 250,000, they came in at 190, those additional funds, because it would be after December, just
If
go back
they-
to the federal government since they're unused?
Not necessarily. There is an avenue to be able to expend some limited funds on certain items. So let's say we did these projects, let's say one of these projects kind of falls apart and we have $30,000 left. there is like a list of approved items that could be brought forth for consideration at that time. Because we had had the funds allocated and committed for these projects, that gives us the ability to move to that other category if something falls apart here, not by us sitting back and not taking
But
any
you have to
action.
go back and get all the bids and stuff on the new project, or have you already got them by that time?
Well, you don't have them.
So it wouldn't be a project at that point. It wouldn't be a project.
Like the secondary,
So like, for example, one of the things that would be able to be considered at that time would be body cameras. Okay, so that's something that could fit in that window if these funds were not used for that, you could use funds, a portion of funds for that. Does that make sense? So, and there's a few things that are allowable like that. I don't have the full list. But, you know, certainly we can get with GrantWorks and get that. It's not our intention to have to do that. It's our intention to be able to utilize funds for your capital improvements that you've designated as important. So, and that's, you know, that
Probably
is,
won't go under anyway.
what was that?
It probably won't be under.
It probably won't be under.
It won't be under.
No, I don't think we'll be
250,
under. And we will start with the larger project so that if there is any issue with being at the top of that, but we will put both of those projects on there. And of course, your second project does have the ability to have funding from your impact fees.
okay.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 5 as presented.
Motion by Casey,
Second.
second by Cheryl to accept item number 5 as presented. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. It's open for discussion. All those in favor of accepting item number 5 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. We will accept item number 5 as presented. Item number 6 on your agenda. Consideration and possible action on an ordinance at the City Council of the City of Montgomery, Texas, amending Chapter 86, Traffic and Vehicles, Article 7, Towing Services, to update the definitions fee, or is that Article 12? I'm sorry. Fee schedule, wrecker service, rotation list, guidelines, repealing conflicting ordinances, providing a savings clause, providing an enforcement clause, providing a severability clause, providing for publication and open meeting, providing an effective date, and providing for other related matters.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In keeping up with the changes made by the state on Chapter 86, towing and vehicle services, we've made those changes for the maximum and the minimum fines. Also, during the course of that, we made several updates and additions to the record ordinance and rotation list. We clarified things and made them a little bit more efficient. Things such as action taken, private tows, public roadways. We cleared all that up in the ordinance while we were making those changes due to the fees change. So we've made all those changes, and now we brought them here to you guys for approval. Any questions?
How many people, how many record services do we have signed up with the city?
We have 2. We added a new record service approximately 4 months ago. Matter of fact, we were looking at their rotations yesterday. A couple of months ago, they were canceling a lot of tows. And we give you so long to cancel so many tows, and after that, we cancel you out of that rotation. So I spoke with the officers today doing their shift briefing, and those guys have started picking up back on those rotations.
Is there a storage lot inside city limits?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Yeah, that's a qualification. They can't do it without. But at one time, I heard we had 3, and
Here at the city?
that's what I heard. You know, that was
I don't know if you ever-
before I was behind this wall here.
That's where I was born.
Yeah, and
No, I don't know. We've just got the 2.
Yeah.
so, so basically, so it's like every other. How do you keep the fairness?
With the rotation?
Yeah, with the rotation.
What we do with the rotation is it's on the guys' computers in their cars. So they know after one record's gone, they take that record down and put the next record up. Then the officer with the next tow knows that that record has the next tow. So that's the way they keep up with it. Because we couldn't get the county dispatch to keep up with it, so we had to come up with a way to keep up with it ourselves. And that's how we do it. Our guys put that rotation in and take that next rotation down.
I move to approve the resolution as presented.
Moved by Cheryl,
Second.
seconded by Stan, that we approve the resolution as presented. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. All those in favor of moving the resolution as presented, say aye.
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 Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will approve item number 6 as presented.
Thank you.
Item number 7, second reading and possible action on a resolution of the City of Montgomery, Texas, approving an expenditure to contribute to the construction of a water main for Montgomery Independent School District's Career and Technical Education, CTE, campus development, providing for repeal, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Mayor and council, that was the second and final reading that was required. You're now free to act on by adopting the resolution. Again, this falls in line with council's intent and approval of this and EDC's willingness to pay the money.
Thank you, Dave.
The discussion, I have to admit, was kind of confusing to me, but irregardless, I know that this is the second reading, and
You're saying in the packet, the resolution was before the action item, and it was at the end of Chief's towing resolution? Mm-hmm. So it's a little confusing. Okay, that's what I thought you were, because I was confused too. Okay. It's not under, this is at the ends of Chief's. It's not under the,
Yeah, I just read it through, so
So you have
I
to
didn't even catch
kind of
where it's at.
go read the piece of paper and then go back.
Anyways. Any questions on this, Stan?
no.
Okay, I make a motion to accept item number 7 as presented.
motion by Casey, seconded by Carol, that we accept item number 7 as presented. All those in favor of accepting item number 7 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will accept item number 7 as presented. Item number 8, consideration and possible action on off-site public sanitary sewer improvements project pursuant to the development agreement between the City of Montgomery and Morning Cloud Investments for the crossing at Montgomery number 2403.
Good evening. This is, again, the off-site public sanitary sewer for the crossing at. Y'all approved the development agreement a couple council meetings ago, and this is the utility extension that goes along with it. So to outline the scope of it for you, I'm turning to page 61 of your packet, which is the exhibit. This shows the boundaries of Marjorie's tract, the future crossing at Montgomery tract. And then if you look at kind of the northwest side, their proposed force main will run along Old Dobbin Plantersville on the other side of the street from where the water line is going by the high school, up to 105, and then turn and go east and discharge into the manhole. The line that it's discharging into will then need to be upsized from an 8-inch as it currently stands to a 12-inch. The proposal in front of you also includes design services for their on-site lift station, and then the developer will handle design of the force main from the lift station to the boundary of their property. That way they can coordinate with where the rest of their utilities are going, and we're not trying to design right on top of each other. So what is proposed in front of you is entirely to be developer funded. We are proposing a time and materials cost of $332,600 and 517 calendar days through the duration of construction.
So, quick question. This is a section that we talked about with 105 and that we have to replace anyways, right? I mean, we're replacing it for this reason when they tear up the highway.
Going along the same timeline, but different utilities. This is a brand new force main that would be going in, not necessarily an existing one that already needs to be relocated. This force main doesn't exist today.
Okay. The one that runs along 105.
Correct. There is a force main on the north side of 105.
Yeah, that's the one we're tying into.
We're tying into a gravity line along 105. The force main that we're discussing right now is not going to tie into an existing force main. It'll keep going east until pretty much right in front of the Cowboy Church. There's a manhole there, and then the gravity line will begin. And so this force main will discharge directly into a gravity line. It will not connect to another force main.
Well, I don't know much about the piping of it, but wouldn't it be better just to tie into the pipe that's already there by drawing onto the street?
You mean tie into the force
Force
main?
main that's already there, instead of putting one on both sides of the highway?
Tying two force mains into each other can cause some pretty tricky maintenance issues. And so it's generally not recommended to tie one force main into another force main. You get into issues of flow and pressure and timing. So this was the best option for the city so that it didn't kind of daisy chain the issues. And
Right.
this force main will be designed with TxDOT's improvements in mind to stay well out of the way, be plenty low enough so that we're not having to go back and relocate a brand new force main that we just put in.
Okay, so just to clarify, there's a force main on the north side of the road. If you look at your drawing that you gave us, on the west end of it, it ties into that same loop that we're gonna gravity feed to just make a circle.
The force main, the high school.
I'm not sure if that's, no, it's on the other side, it's on the west, east side of it. Force main and the east side over here, you're tied into it already. You're gonna tie into it already. The blue line, right?
Blue line is water. Blue is water, green is sanitary.
Okay, so existing sanitary sewer discharge point is blue on the south side of the road.
No, sir, look, I see where you're seeing blue. There's a water line also on that same side, and the way the utility map is shown, they're right next to each other, so it's.
So I can't see the green, is what you're saying? Okay, well, that makes sense then. Because I'm like, I see blue.
I see where you're talking about, and I see the blue, and then right next to it, right next to it is an 8-inch green
Oh,
line.
okay, so that's, I can't see the green on my,
Over there.
it's really dark.
It's really dark on yours. Yeah.
It just looks blue to me, so I'm like, I don't see the, okay, that makes sense. On hers, I
I
see.
see what you're talking about
Yeah.
now,
Yeah,
yes, I see the
okay.
confusion.
But his is real dark.
Okay, well, that makes sense, yeah.
And this is all funded by the developer.
That's correct. So we would begin our design when the deposit is received by the developer. No work will begin until that deposit is received.
And the developer has seen this or not yet?
Yes.
No, that makes sense. Cool. So item number 8. Make a motion to authorize the city engineer for item number 8.
Motion by Casey,
I'll second.
seconded by Carol, that we authorize the city engineer to proceed with the item as presented. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. It's open for discussion. Stan, do you have something?
No.
All right. All those in favor of authorizing the city engineer to proceed per the action item on this agenda item, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will authorize the engineer to proceed on the action item.
Thank you.
Item number 9 on your agenda, consideration and possible action on canceling the November 26, 2024 and December 24th, 2024 regular city council meeting minutes, holiday weeks.
I make a motion.
To cancel? AC, you make it, I second.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept item number 9 as presented.
I second.
Moved by Casey, seconded by Carol, that we accept item number 9 as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. We will accept item number 9 as presented. At this time, we will have, there's council inquiry.
The next chamber luncheon is in Montgomery on November the 20th, 11:30 to 1 at Lone Star Community Center. I forgot what it was called. I just wanted to make that announcement.
Okay, what is it, Carol, again?
20th,
20th,
11:30 to 1.
which is a Wednesday. So they've been jumping around.
That is the Conroe Chamber, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes, ma'am. I just still call it our chamber.
But it's at Lone Star
That is
here.
not.
The Montgomery Bear football team is going to playoffs, which has been a very long time, and so I'd like to ask staff to put that on the LED sign. They are headed to playoffs on Friday, so if we could just put a little note to them up there, that would be great, so when they come through town, they can see it before they leave.
Who was that, Mayor?
The Go Bears, their football team is playing Marshall at 7 o'clock on Friday, and they have not been to playoffs in a long time.
A very long time.
Very long time, so we're rather excited. So, bound.
Good.
Get some on the LED.
Yeah.
What was the last time?
Okay, anything else? All right, then at this time, we'll head into executive session, adjourn into closed executive session as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, 551.072, deliberation regarding real property, and 551.074, personnel matters, city administrator's employment contract. It is 6:51 p.m. and we are headed into executive session. Okay. Oh, I ended it for you.
Yeah, that was blue. I was like,
It was like, I don't know how near it was, but I think a bear. You could barely see it.
I created the agenda for the 18th. So it's all set to print. I think so. But the occupation.
So, 34 to
Yes, I'd like to make, based on the defendants are in contract. Options to offer mediation with further legal action.
second by Cheryl. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The
Adjourn.
Have a motion to make, and I'm not sure exactly how to word it. I am not new employment contract.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Second by administrator's contract due to lack of confidence. It's open for discussion. Those in favor of not renewing this city administrator? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? But the motion carries. We will not renew the city administrator. Okay.
Can we talk about this? Declaring term 25, at which point I'll be paid out.
Yeah. Record.
Well, I want to be clear.
The contract say?
I don't have it in front
I
of me.
don't
I have
either.
no idea what it says.
January 6th, there is a severance package, and I don't know if there's anything else.
But the
I have
intent
it
is
pulled.
to comply with the
Yes.
Yes.
severance of the contract, right?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else? Okay. Anyone else? Okay, I'm open to adjournment.
Make the motion, we adjourn.
Second by Stan.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have the motion carries. It's 7:37.
Alan wrote it down? You have it all? You don't have to make a copy. And our city engineer was on every one of them. He replied with, yes, everything's, I mean, it's there. Oh, I don't know about all that. I don't know about the motions, but the inspections and he, yeah, so the fact that inspections and he, yeah, so the fact that Chris stood there and, oh, we didn't.
You know, many had referred to as the private streets known as. Mike was on site, and the engineers were on site.
I know, but all the emails. And there, I read every email. Yeah.
You know,
As far as the minutes and all that, I ain't worried
some
about
of
all that
it
crap.
though is like the, well, this, You guys do this because you did all this back in 2017 and Bruce didn't. It's a private.
No, he said they were private roads. He said that. He admitted it right here. Private roads, but the whole he was not involved, and we weren't allowed to you know. And it's like that's not the case because they were involved in every single bit of it. So.
You know.
Yeah. So and that's my thing is if our city engineers at the time, I can't. Oh well, we can't.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Man, I appreciate this.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, hey, here, put the clip back. Yeah, I don't know why I took it off. No, I don't know, klepto, I guess.
It's okay.